Okay,
Great.
good morning, everybody. I'm Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads, and thanks for having us back and taking a little bit of time to talk about the platform and how it can help you as realtors grow your business. And we do that in a number of ways. And before we dive into it, we have really powerful and automated social media content. We can auto post your listings to your social media accounts. We can auto post landing pages and PDF guides. A lot of information that's going to help both buyers and sellers. And so there's a lot, we automate that. But some of the most powerful things going on with our system is we allow you to also run ads and print tools and mail them into your markets. And when I say print mail, I want to stress that we're going to look at that in a moment. We've all been talking about the internet for 20 something years now, and everybody knows I got to be digital. But I want to, since the point of this call is to talk about how to get listings, I want to point out that the most effective tool is actually a print tool. It's a piece of paper. And I'm going to show you how our clients are using it and why it's so effective. And that's just one of the things that we're going to be talking about today. I think I'm logged into the account here. So you should be able to log in right up here under my account. And there are definitely a couple of things that I want to point out to everybody. And as some of you are more experienced with listings to leads and others are not, we're definitely working here on our side to make the system more intuitive, right? And so the point of this call right here is to show you like, hey, how to get listings, right? But since we are talking about that, when you log in, you're going to come right to this page, the dashboard. And if you're thinking, hey, I want to get more listings, and that's the point of this call, click this button right here that says generate seller leads. There are a lot of tools inside the system that'll help you get seller leads. And they're all teed up on this page right here, right? So when we talked about it, when we've spoken in the past about it, I would tell you, hey, you can run ads on Facebook to get seller leads. You can run ads on Google to get seller leads. And we'll dive down here and look at what that looks like. I will also tell you that marketing your homes that are pending or under contract or sold are going to get you seller leads, and some really powerful tools under here. We're going to look at that as well. We have some new email marketing, which is actually pretty good for engaging your leads. But there are also landing pages, right? Like, what is your home worth? And you can create landing pages for your various farm markets where you're working, where you're trying to develop. And then you have tools to market those out. And then there are PDF guides, right? And there are actually in each one of your accounts, 80 PDF guides. There are 40 for home buyers and there are 40 for home sellers. So when you're thinking about how to get listings, you can think of it this way. You have tools that you have listings. We've got tools to help you do that. If you don't have listings, we still have tools to help you get listings. And the same is true for buyer leads as well, right? I do want to point out a couple of things as they're around here. So I want you to obviously get to the dashboard. Definitely download this right here. This is a listing presentation. It's branded to you on every page. It talks about all the things that we do for you when it comes to marketing a listing. And if you download that, you will notice that is a very robust tool. It's actually nearly impossible to compete against that listing presentation from a technology and activity point of view, right? Because we do so many things and nothing in that document is talking about listings to lead. It's talking about you and what you bring to the table. So make sure that you do this. And I would recommend as soon as you can log into your account and download and print this so that you can see everything that's available for you and figure out what is it that you want to be leveraging. I do want to talk about one other thing that's going to make listings to leads a lot easier for you. And that's right here. We call it the marketing calendar. And there are a lot of agents that are flat out busy all day long. And there are a lot of agents that are not, and they want to grow their business and they're maybe looking for a guide to help them begin with a platform. And right here, we have a monthly calendar and you could say, hey, I'm going to start on today's date and do an action. And each one of these pages has one action, right? It doesn't have 5 or 10 where you're going to get confused. You can actually just click on that. We're going to give you a checklist of the steps that you need to do. If you want to click here, you can see a step-by-step guide, including a video to show you exactly how to execute on that checklist. And if you click here, it's going to take you to the work area where you actually do the work, right? And so there's a lot to unpack with listings. There's a lot to learn about listings to leads. And all of the actions that you can do with this are all designed to market, to build your brand, and to capture either buyer leads or seller leads. And so if you're thinking, I don't know where to start, I would recommend one, getting to this dashboard and asking yourself the question, do you want more buyers or do you want more sellers? And getting to the marketing calendar. And again, if you're saying, I want more listings, if you look right at these, you'll see this is telling you this is going to get buyer and seller leads. This is going to get seller leads, buyer leads. And so you can just say, I want to focus on listings, or I want to focus on buyers. And those tools that will help you get to that goal are on these. And there's basically an action every day of the week for you. So I definitely want everybody to look at that. And I'm going to, let's see, why is that there? Give me a second. I feel like what I'm looking for is gone. I also want to point out some other resources for you. So I do, and Scott, my partner, does, we do live training every week. Okay. And if you go to leadgenwebinars.com, you can learn and ask questions there. And these are the topics that we're doing. So Scott's talking about geofarming, which is actually really important because that's like, how do I hit my market with ads? How do I hit them with email? And how do I hit them with print? And he talks about that. And I talk about that as well. And we're going to talk about that today. But then there's a class just on straight up Facebook and Google. And if you're not, and the ads there, and if you're not familiar with how to do that, we go in depth there. Get started is also really useful. We have class for lenders, and then top tools for more listings, which is our call today will be a bit of a hybrid of all these things. We record and that's leadgenwebinars.com. You can go there and sign up for classes, but we record every one of those and they all end up right on this page, which is our YouTube channel. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to send this to everybody on this call right now. And I would definitely hold on to this. And there's actually a couple of things here that are really useful. One is the classes that we're talking about they're right here. I do want to point out something. So there's a new kind of focus. I mentioned some email marketing that we have on the main dashboard. And what Scott's doing is taking current news that is real estate related. And in this case, about an hour ago, the new Case Schiller report, and we're developing marketing information surrounding that news. It might be mortgage rates moving one week. It might be something else. But this week, it's the Case Schiller report. And so this is going to it's going to give you a number of assets, digital, in print, and email, to get that word out and tell your market, bring them some useful information. So you might want to look at that. I really recommend that. Now, my classes that I do, top tools for more listing, I'll tell you this. I really recommend that every agent, every broker watches 2 or 3 of my calls, because I don't say exactly the same thing. And in today's call, I won't be able to cover everything. But having listings in your business has become more and more important. It's still the whole NAR settlement thing. It's a big issue. And you're going to need to be very competitive because the market's getting more competitive. And our tools are very effective. And I'm going to show you that kind of in just a minute. So that's our YouTube channel. There should be a link in the chat panel. Get there. And also one other thing. So these classes, as you might notice, are like on average about an hour long. But if you come to this tab here and if you subscribe to our page, we're doing shorts every day of the week and sometimes twice a day. And they're talking about specific small aspects of the system. Some of them we get a lot of feedback from our clients in our mastermind group. And if they're saying, hey, we did this and we're getting listings, or we did this and we're getting buyers, we're taking that information, that feedback, and showcasing it here in 1-minute videos. And I think not all agents like to sit on a 1-hour demo or a story or a call, right? I get that. You're busy. but you can all spare a minute, right? And you will learn, if you're watching this, you will learn very quick bites of what we're doing here and things that are effective. So the YouTube channel is definitely great. Our mastermind group is great. And before we dive into it, I'm gonna pull up something here that I saw. I actually saw it a couple weeks ago, and this gets into maybe why should you be paying attention to this call that I'm going on. And this lady here, Amy, in September, which is just a little bit ago, she said, "Hey, I've not really used this, and I'm thinking of canceling, and I'd love to hear some feedback." And there are people here that have said, "Hey, I've learned, I've built my entire business on it." There's also somebody here that said, "Yeah, Ken," he said, "Yeah, I've been a client since 2014, which is 10 years. So we appreciate that. I produce hundreds of thousands of dollars in my business. It's core to my listing presentation. And in my opinion, the best monthly expense in my business." The reason this guy, Ken, has generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in his business is that he took some time to learn what to do with our platform and how to use that. And so I will say this, you might hear Scott or myself say that there are over 200 tools in the system, and there are over 200 system tools. A lot of them are automated. If you turn on the automation, we'll put them out on your socials for you for free. But really, there's probably a handful of actions that if you take consistently, you'll have really great results. Your business will grow. So let's get into that. Let's get back to the dashboard and let's talk a little bit about what you should have as a strategy. And right now, we're still going to focus on how to get listings. And I'm going to give you, if you're writing anything down or remembering anything, I will tell you this. We have e-flyers in our platform that capture leads, right? If you have a CRM with leads in it and more than like 300 leads, and there's some of you that have thousands of leads, take any of our e-flyer, and we have e-flyers on the back of your listings. We have e-flyers on the back of our PDF guides and e-flyers on the back of our landing pages, and copy them and blast them out on your CRM every week. Okay. So that's one thing every week. That's probably a 5-minute exercise. Also, run an ad on Facebook every week. There's a cost to that, right? So it's minimally $35. But I tell brand new green agents, expect to spend $200 a month on Facebook. And that would be $150 ad a week. And I'm going to show you the kinds of things that you can do there. And also think about mailing one of our tools to the same farm market twice a month. There is a cost to doing mailing. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Our tools that we suggest that you use, they have call to actions built into them. I'm pretty sure you guys have postcards with Soldera, right? And most great real estate companies do have print tools. And what they're awesome at doing is making sure your branding is straight and your picture is nice and your logo is nice, but there's really no call to action there. And everything we do, whether it's in print, online, and email, it's all got call to actions. And so that's why you want to be thinking, I need to get one tool out into the market. And so what I'm wrapping up there is you're going to run ads in front of your market. You're going to email your market, and you're going to send print tools to your market. Any business in any industry would want to be hitting their target market in multiple channels. And that's what we're talking about right here. So let's talk about the first one of how to create an ad. And this, if we create an ad on Facebook for a listing and we use any home that is sold or pending or under contract, the language is going to be the same. And leave it on lead ads. Lead ads is probably one of the most powerful things that our clients are able to use. It's a default setting here. And what that means is when somebody sees the ad, they can click on it and there will be their name and email and phone number are automatically pulled into this little window. And it says, would you like that information? There's one answer, yes. And they're submitting their contact information that's been automatically dropped into the form from their profile. This is a very important idea. And we've been doing this for 15 years, right? We've been creating tools for marketing in real estate for 15 years. And I can tell you, we know because we can analyze a lot of the results, that if you ask somebody to fill out this form on whatever, anywhere, and I'm sure online forms on the internet as you're looking yourself, when anybody is presented with a form like that, they pretty much ignore it, right? Or maybe they put in Mickey Mouse at Disney.com, right? And so it's not really great when you're doing that. But if you put it on Facebook and their name, phone number, and email is sitting right there, and there's one answer and that they can give, and it's yes, many people will do this. Okay, this will work. It works. We just see it over and over. And when you have a property in your account, and if it's in Portland, it's going to say Portland, Oregon here, and it's going to automatically pull up Portland. All you got to do is click create ad. Now, one thing I didn't say is, hopefully it's obvious. When you get into the system, there is a wizard and it says connect your social media accounts and connect your Facebook ad account. So when you're running the ad, it's not sponsored by the best listing. It's sponsored by you, the rockstar realtor on Facebook, right? So people are catching your brand and realizing you're a realtor. And it's going on a 15-mile radius of wherever that home is, right? This is the fastest, cheapest way of getting seller leads. Okay. And so I want you to understand an easy way. And if let's say you're trying to build your business in a particular market and you don't have any listings there, you could borrow a listing and go to your listings page. And if it's active, you could actually type in the zip code and the MLS ID and it would pull it in and you'd be able to run ads just like we're doing right now. And that's a good way of running ads. A lot of people do this if they're just trying to find buyers, right? You can do that. You can click add listing and you can grab listing, right? But a lot of agents also go manual and they say, listen, I'm actually helping a buyer in this part. Let's say it's in Vancouver, right? Isn't Vancouver like right across the river from you? And you want to build out Vancouver because maybe you live there and you want to just build that neighborhood, that part of your area. And you're helping somebody buy a home, so you know it's selling. But you could come here and you could say, I'm going to add this home because it's about to close. And I'm going to call it just sold as the listing agent or the selling agent. And boom, it would be here, right? You just need really one photo when you're trying to market a home that's sold because they're not really going to dive in too deep. They're just, the message on a sold home is this home is sold or it's under contract. That's going to close soon. And that affects your home value. Click here to get your home value. And that's why sold marketing works so well on Facebook. Now, I do want to point out that what I'm describing to you is the easy way of getting seller leads, Facebook ads, right? You can use, here's my buddy, Craig. So anyway, let me explain to you why it works so well. What we're looking at here is Facebook. And as we scroll through, there's going to be ads right here. And it might say, hey, we have an open house, or hey, click here to get your home value. Real estate values have changed in Portland or something like that. Or it could be this ad that we were looking at on this page, right? And that works. The thing about Facebook that a lot of people don't know is American adults spend 40 minutes every day scrolling through Facebook on their smartphones, in their car, in meetings, in line at Starbucks, and of course at home, right? And so when you're just taking a couple of clicks and you're running an ad on a home that's open house or anything like that, it works, right? And so that's great. But the thing is, you got to remember is, yes, people are on Facebook for 40 minutes a day, but they didn't go there to Facebook looking for answers in real estate. And so while those leads are easy to get, they maybe are not the highest quality, right? But if you want to get the machine going, I definitely recommend it. And to speak to that, I want to go over to our mastermind group. And if you're trying to learn how to get more listings and you want more listings in your business, there are a few names I would recommend that you check out. One is Pat Motley, Chris Winstead, Dustin Fox, and this gentleman right here, Brian Matheson. This is a page for all of our clients. And if you're not in, please let me know and we'll get you in there. This gentleman here is down in Texas. And He created this video for his office, for his agents, because they have an office account and he wants to teach his agents like, hey, this is really great. You got to use these tools, right? And so he's describing how they were trying to figure out how to get more listings. And so they wanted to run an ad on a home that is sold. And that's what this home is in Conroe, Texas. All right. It's in the Dallas area, Fort Worth area. And what he's describing is, hey, even before we marketed this as sold, we were marketing as for sale. And he said, we generated 114 buyer leads from this single home, right? You have to run multiple ads. You probably have to spend around $350 for 114 buyer leads. But he said, we converted 4 of those. So 4 people out of the 114 bought a home in Texas from the leads on this particular home, right? So he's like, this was great. We're excited. There's clearly an ROI there. But he said, then we flipped it to sold and we ran an ad on Facebook again, and we get leads and we convert one of those leads first by texting them and then closing a phone call, then closing a listing appointment to sell a home for 400 grand and buy another for 450. That's from one $50 ad. And that ad is exactly this ad. So all he was doing, and I asked him, if you go look at that post, you'll notice that I asked a question like, what did you do? Anything custom to make that, to get those leads? He said, no, I just use your default settings and I click create ad. A $50 ad in Texas was getting him leads for $4 each. So if Facebook is charging him $4 per lead, you divide 4 into 50 and he probably got something like 12 leads, right? I think that's a number. Maybe it's more. Anyway, it's very easy to get these. And what I do want to point out is, yeah, you could say these are low quality leads, but we have clients all over the country converting these leads right now. And so that's the food for thought there, right? Let me show you a couple of other kinds of ads that you can run on Facebook. And we definitely have our clients doing these as well. I mentioned earlier that we have PDF guides, right? And that there are 40 of them designed for homeowners. So when you click that button, you'll notice that there are PDF guides and your branding, you're on every page. Lead ads here, that means we get pre-populated name, email, and phone number. That's another great way of going out there. You just type in the city that you want to focus on and where you want to target and click create ad. It's very easy. These leads cost more per lead generally than a sold listing ad. Okay. But it's easy and you don't even need the listing to do this. You can just do it, right? I do want to show one more thing. And I also want to speak a little bit to your actual market. All right. If we create a Facebook ad, and let's not do a listing, let's do a landing page ad. This is the one that most people want to do. It's our free home values page. Every one of you has a free home value page in your account. And it looks like this. Now, I won't say Folsom. Mine says Folsom because we were working with it. But you see that street there, that suburban street? That's what it looked like. And a lot of realtors like you will go in and say, I want to run an ad on that. And they type in their area where they want to focus and boom, click that. And then they come to us and say, well, this is not working. But it's not working out for me. And this is actually a really great way of losing money on Facebook. And that's because this does not look like Portland and it doesn't say a whole lot about Portland. And that's what I want to make sure all of you understand is when it comes to selling your home, you want to deal with your local expert, right? I live in a little town called Lafayette. There's 24,000 people here. And I live in a big county, right? There's cities 20 miles each direction. I don't really want the county expert. I want the Lafayette expert. And that's why if you're going to be focused on getting listings, come to the landing page section, click this button to create a landing page, choose the option for Property Valuation Plus, and then type in the name of the city that you want to work on. I will point out, we have a lot of templated landing pages here. We have some for FSBOs or expireds. You can do your own custom landing pages, growing family. If you've got like empty nesters, that's happening as well. So you have tools that will focus on your area. You just type in the name of the town you want, and Then you go, once we do, that's going to create the landing page. And then you can go out and run ads, and you're going to have a tool that's really speaking to your local market. And I know I've been in Portland a few times and visited your office. And I know there are even there are parts of Portland that you might want to focus on. You can literally create that landing page for that target market as well, right? For that portion of Portland. And once you've done that, we're going to drop you on the editor. And that means put in a picture of Portland, right? And I want to speak to this. This is actually really important in your market. And I know this because it was probably 10 years ago that I closed Windermere Real Estate, right? And they were using us in 250 offices in 10 of the Western states. And so we could really analyze lead capture from one company, Windermere. We could see, hey, if people are doing this in Arizona, or if they're doing it in Ohio, and then they're doing it in Seattle, we could see that the same tools were working differently. And here is the big message that I want you to understand. When it comes to capturing leads, the Pacific Northwest is the most difficult part of the United States to do that. And that's really speaks to this, because if you're not telling people digitally or even in print that you know their area, they're not likely going to give you any information. Okay. And I hope you understand what I am saying. If you present a form online in the Pacific Northwest, they're very likely not going to answer. So you want to make sure that you're editing this, that you have a good picture of something that somebody living in Portland is going to know that Portland. Once you've done that, now you can run ads on Facebook. You can run ads on Google, and you can even share it. You can tell us to share it automatically to your social media accounts for free. And as I said earlier, we always have these things of e-flyer for your database. Remember when I said you should send out an email once a week, maybe once a month or once a quarter, you send this out, right? It's built on the back of that landing page. There are also door hangers and postcards that will tell you, hey, I'll share this with you. This is a door hanger. It's going to have your colors, your branding. And we have clients who are printing this door hanger at Vistaprint, right? And they're using Vistaprint because they print in batches of 1,000, because the price per door hanger is low. It's a volume discount. They're not even door knocking. They're just walking the neighborhoods where they want listings, hanging on the door and moving on, because it's very simple. Once they open the door and they go, oh, I can get my home value by scanning that. Great. Let's do it. That's going to help you, right? This is a print way. So remember when I said, hey, you want to get something in print in your market, maybe twice a month. That would be one of those things. Maybe it's a sold postcard on a property, or it's going to be another important tool that I'm going to show you. So you've actually got e-flyers here. On one landing page, you got the ability to run an ad, to blast out an e-flyer on your database, and to create print postcards, right? Print tools for that. I will also tell you this. There's a lady over in Chicago who's a coach and realtor, and she keeps doing these classes. I don't even know her personally. I've never spoken to her, but agents keep coming to us because what she's telling them is, yeah, I created this landing page and listings leads. They automatically created the QR code for me. And I take that QR code and I embed it in every print tool that I've been using for years. And it says, scan here for your free home guide. When you're getting print and you're thinking about real estate and you're getting it in the mail, you might not actually act on that very second that you read it. You might set it on your countertop and it'll be there. And then at some point, people are just like, oh yeah, I want my own value. There's that QR code. Let's go get it. That is really powerful marketing. And we have clients just coming here simply for this one tool that we're looking at right here, because it points to this page, right? And I'm going to go over to the landing page section right here. And I want to point out, it's actually really important that you are using something that means something to the market, right? And a lot of people think it's a home, like it's a luxury home. That's what's going to get the thing moving and get people to pay attention. Like I was doing a call with some people in Memphis, so I made this on the fly. And this is a picture of some main street, a lot of tourists here, right? That's not necessarily the greatest thing. And we have a client over here in Livermore, and I was showing her how you do this. And I said, there's some really great malls over there. It's like this big discount outlet mall, right? And it's by the San Francisco Bay Area. People drive for an hour or two to get there. I said, why don't you put that on there? She said, no. She said, Livermore, we have really nice wineries, and we know that we like that. So we got a picture of the local winery at Christmas, and we put it here. And she's like, yeah, this is working really well, because now she can mail things that are pointing to this photograph. She can run ads, and it's speaking locally to the market. This is really important in your advertising and marketing. You have to be that area expert. And so your marketing is sure to speak to that, and we make it incredibly easy to do that. So let's go back to the dashboard. Now that we talked about landing pages and we know that we've got the things right here, I want to go quickly into listings. So if again, I'm going to click on seller leads, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to generate buyers as well. On this side, if you have a home that is sold or pending or under contract, you definitely want to market that. And it's funny because I'm friends with thousands of agents on Facebook, and I see the colorful things they're sharing. And it's great. It means you've learned how to copy and paste something that looks good. What they're missing 99% of the time is any lead capture there, right? That's not what we're about at all. And so when you have a home and you just flip it to sold, we're going to auto post it to your social media, and it looks like the ad. But if somebody clicks on it, we're going to point them to a landing page, to a page that we automatically generated for you. Let's see if I can get there from here. I should have clicked on Facebook. When they click on it, the tool that's behind the actual post will capture a lead. And so this is free auto posting that can capture leads. And the automation, the auto posting, you should definitely turn on. I can just tell you from experience, it doesn't generate a lot of leads. What generates a lot of leads are the Facebook ads, and those leads come with name, email, and phone number, right? So this is a single property website. When something is just sold or under contract, we're always offering a home value. And that's what you should be doing. That's the real reason. If you're sharing colorful things on social media saying, I sold this home, you probably want to get more listings, right? So you want to use a tool that's going to offer a free home value. And in this case, it says, hey, that affects your home value, right? And so that's what this post is about, saying, I sold something and it's going to affect your home value. That's what our free posting is about. But also on this page is the nearby homeowner letter. And the nearby homeowner letter is the most important tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. You can, as you might remember, I mentioned earlier that you can borrow a listing, right? And you obviously got to pay attention to your local rules. But the letter, we automatically create this every time you have a listing. And we create it at every stage. So a lot of our clients use this when it's just listed and they mail this out. And then when they do their marketing and they sell it a month or two later, they flip it to sold and they mail this letter out again. And it's going to say the same thing. It's going to say, hey, we just listed a home, check it out. In this case, we just sold it, check it out. In both cases, that's going to affect your home value, and click here and go get your free home value, right? Now, I said click just because I need more coffee. Actually, this is a piece of paper, and this is meant to mail to your farm market. Remember how I said you should mail 2 things? You should get one of these out minimally once a month. Our clients, and you can see it in the mastermind group, if you recall, I mentioned that there were some names that you should look at. And I said Pat Motley, and I said Chris Winstead. The reason why I'm telling you that is because they are sharing what they're doing with that tool and telling you the results. So Pat here has been a client for about 12 years in Louisiana. This is the letter that was created for her home. She customized it a little bit, but she prints these in batches of 100 and she flips them over and prints on the back with Microsoft Publisher so that it looks like an envelope. Then she hand folds these things and hand writes them. And I know that sounds like a lot of work, right? It is a lot of work. She says it's 4 hours of time. But On the first 100, she had 4 homeowners calling her on the first 100 pieces of mail that went out when it was just listed. I asked her in this post, how did this batch go? And she says, oh, I got another 3 people calling her and 1 texting her that wants to sell their home. This is work that she did last fall into December. She got 8 people who wanted to sell their home by just marketing one of her homes with 200 pieces of mail. There's a bit of a heavy lift there, right? You're printing on the back. And frankly, I think that is worth it, right? Because she's got 8 listings from one home. And that's really what you want to be thinking of is, how do I take my business and scale it up? This is one tool that you want to look at. Now, we have a connection with a company here called Express Copy. And if you don't like the idea of downloading and printing and handwriting, I understand. But if you have an account with Express Copy and connected, that little button there is going to say print and mail. And we've made it incredibly easy. This is a technology pass through. This is not a revenue kickback thing here. So we're not getting any, we're just trying to make it easier for you. Click on get the mailing list. We're not getting any money or anything like that from this when I'm showing you. You can say, hey, I want a 1 or 2 mile radius, and they will send this to people who have owned their homes, single family homes, for more than 6 years. This is the smartest thing you can do with this, right? And you just click that green button and boom, they download it, they fold it, and they send it out. They put it in an envelope and they send it out. The only thing I don't like about this, and it literally is the only thing, is the envelope looks like bulk mail. It looks like a computer just printed out. There's your address on the top left. There's their address in the center. And bulk mail doesn't get very far. It definitely doesn't get as far as a handwritten envelope like this, right? So when our clients use Express Copy and they mail out 100 of anything, they usually get 1 listing out of that, right? 100 pieces, 1 listing. That's pretty good. You can see here to mail out 100 pieces costs you nearly $200, $185. No time involved, right? Click 2 buttons and it's out. So however you want to get that out, if you want more listings in your business, you need to figure out how you're going to get that into your market. We have clients who actually just print these and put them in their sign writer boxes in front of the homes that they have homes for sale. And we also have clients who print these and leave them right on the countertop when they have open houses, because it's like, hey, if you want to find out about this home, there's a web address, go home and type it in or scan that and go check out the home later when you get home. Also on the same piece of paper at the lower half, you can get your free home value there as well. And so definitely figure out how to get this tool in there. And a lot of agents door knock this when you might be holding an open house for another agent and pull the listing into your account, get this letter and door knock the neighborhood with this 50, 100, just get it out there. It's got lead capture all over this thing. And that's what we're really focused on. So if we go back to the dashboard, we've talked about really some of the ways to get more listings. We've talked about Facebook ads. We've talked about the print tools that are related to your listing. And I'm not going to dive too far into the PDF guides, but we did talk about how to create landing pages for your farm market. And marketing PDF guides and marketing landing pages the same, right? You can do ads on it, you can get e-flyers on it, and you have print tools for it. I do want to talk about one more thing before we talk about some of the cool things on the buyer side, and that is Google. Okay. Now, I've talked a lot about Facebook, and I tell you that it's easy, it's low cost, and you get your leads with name, email, and phone number. That is key. I think that's one of the most important things. And I said this a little bit earlier, but I'm just going to say this again because of your area, right? Actually, it's true across the country. The Pacific Northwest, it's a little bit harder to capture online leads. So this page here, let me just show you how this works. What's happening? You type in any address, residential address, and you click get value. At this point, we're sending you the address that this person typed in. Okay. And you can get that kind of easily. Now, this is something, what would I sell for? I'm just going to say $1. That's not default setting. But here is where the problem occurs. You remember what I was saying earlier Now we're asking for their information. So really what we're doing is we're showing them where their home is on a map and saying, yeah, we have your information. Give us your contact information. Now, if you're anywhere in the US, this is not what I want to be doing. If I'm in the Pacific Northwest, this is absolutely what I don't want to be doing, right? And that's why I am stressing Facebook ads, because that little button that says boost posts there, if I click on this ad, my name, phone number, and email are sitting right there on my computer from Facebook. And a lot of people trust that. They are a lot more comfortable to give you their information when it's coming pre-populated from Facebook than if you asked them on any web page, can you just type in your information for me? And so I really recommend that. I recommend that you think about that highly, because it doesn't matter if you mail something to somebody or you send an e-flyer. There's just human nature. And you understand why, right? There's spam all over the place. There's scams everywhere. Even your phone calls, it can scam you. So everybody's like cautious. What's wrong with that? But you have to think about how does that impact your business? So when it comes to Google, you want to think of Google for creating landing page ads for homeowners and PDF guides for homeowners. And I'm going to show you one. It's actually in the mastermind group. One of our clients is saying, hey, I just ran this ad on 12 mistakes to avoid. And I don't know, here's the thing. So when you are running an ad, when you're on Google, and just so you know, 86% of all questions on the internet are asked on google.com. Okay. Nobody goes to Facebook and says, hey, how do I sell my home? Hey, what do you think the commission is when I sell my home? Or what do I got to think of for taxes or whatever? They're not going to Facebook to ask that question. If you lobbed up some information with an ad, well, good, that's good, right? But that's not if people have a question, 86% of the time, that question is asked on this page. And whatever those words are, those are keywords, right? And so when you're using one of our tools, like a landing page or a PDF guide, we can tell what you are trying to do, what your goal is, and we're automatically putting in keywords. And we're writing multiple headlines, and we're writing multiple descriptions, which is actually required by Google so that you don't have to. And this is how you compete on the #1 website in the country. And if you are a listing agent, you already know that you have to compete there. I will say this, those leads are expensive. They just are. Okay. They are high quality. That's why they're expensive. And that's because somebody went and asked a question on the #1 website in the country for answers, and they liked your answer. And when they filled out that form, they're expecting some help from you. So those are high quality leads. And yeah, they're probably $20 to $25 each in your market. Okay. Could be lower, probably not more than that. In Dallas, those leads from those kinds of ads cost $30 each. In Pennsylvania, they cost $22. In Utah, they're $17. And I don't know in Portland, I just don't know that answer. But they move, they're different. It's how much competition do you have and all kinds of things like that. That's what dictates that. Okay. So that's a lot about how to get listings. I want to point out, remember earlier I mentioned that there is a listing presentation here? That's a generic listing presentation. And I want to point out one thing that's very new that we just launched. And if you are going to get yourself into a listing presentation, maybe you capture a lead from somewhere, or maybe you captured a lead from us and now you're going to go and visit them. Go take a picture of the home. Okay. Go take a picture of the home with your smartphone and just create the listing manually and put it in the status of listing presentation. And the reason why you want to do that, let's click here, is that we're actually creating a listing presentation for that particular home. Okay. Now, you're not completely familiar with all the marketing tools that we're doing over here, right? You might be very new to us, right? And you don't really need to be, you should read through this before you present it. But this is 26 pages on you and what you're doing to market their home. And if you took a picture of their smartphone, you put it in there, it will embed that in every page of this. So instead of looking at, oh, this is what I randomly do on YouTube, and this is what I do in print, and et cetera, their home is sitting right there. This is a really great way of saying, hey, I'm already working on your home. Other people are going to come present, but I'm already building tools for you. I've even got, and if you do this, definitely do this alone, it can close the listing for you. Ask them to take their smartphone and scan that QR code. Because when they do, a link will pop up on their phone that they can click on and see a mobile optimized website already built by us for you, right? And you definitely, if you're getting yourself in listing presentations, create the property and put the status as a listing presentation. So that's very new. Our clients are already giving us really tremendous feedback. I also want to say this has been here for a while, but you may not have known it. And we moved it so it's more visible. And that is client reviews. If you have reviews on what is it, Zillow, people got to find those somewhere, right? They might show up if they're searching somewhere. If you have reviews on Google, they got to go find them over there, right? We actually build a website showcasing all of your reviews. And if you have reviews, we can auto sweep them from Zillow, from Testimonial Tree, and from Google. We put them on a page like this. We also put a marketing plan, which is, dovetails with our system here. Not talking about listings to lead. You can snap in a testimonial if you want. Remember the PDF guides I mentioned? They're all right here. You can download them for free as long as you give us your contact info. And all of the listings in your account are going to be right here. And if I click on any of these, I'm going to land on a single property website. And you can probably imagine that there's going to be some lead capture here as well. So you definitely I recommend that you, and this might sound a little bit crazy, become friends with your clients on Facebook so that when you get a review from them, you can tag them and say, hey, thanks for that review. Love working with you. I hope you enjoy the home. Let me know when I can help, right? That kind of thing. Because if you tag them on Facebook, all of their friends and family and colleagues are going to see that. And if they're interested in that, they might click on it. And that's pretty much all about you and lead capture for you, right? So leverage your reviews just like you leverage your listings to get more business. That's really the point of that. One other thing that you may or may not know of is the social content page. And this is really awesome for a few reasons. I know, I can tell you because I talk to realtors 5 days a week for many years, that a lot of realtors actually don't know what is even going on social media. They may not like it. It may seem really strange to them, but you shouldn't ignore it. You should not ignore it. You should leverage that as well. And this page right here is going to help you do that. When you come here the first time, it's going to say connect to your social media accounts. You can connect to Facebook, you can connect to Instagram, Twitter, and Google My Business. Now, we have a lot of clients telling us that this content is increasing their network. People see the content, they like it, they follow them on Instagram. If you use Google My Business, Google is looking at our content, and if you're turning it on a few times a week or every day of the week, it's increasing the SEO so that your Google business page shows up on page 1 in your local markets. If you're using those platforms, definitely get over here, connect, tell us how many days a week you want us to post. It could be 1 day a week or 7. There are 50 different topics. Now, if you're one of those realtors that can't sleep at night, click on the eyeball and read every one of our articles, right? And see if you like it or whatever. But it's conversational. It's not institutional industry reads. It's like nice, easy information, colorful photographs. But if you do sleep well, and I just turn it on, click the box, and that's going to activate or deactivate that. Also, make sure you're using the PDF guides. Remember when I said that we have 80 PDF guides? If you turn it on here, we're going to auto post those guides to your social media accounts throughout the year with landing pages behind it. So you can actually capture free leads from that. And that's really what I recommend doing, right? Turn that part on. So I think that's the end of my story. I've been rambling on here for nearly an hour. Are there any questions about what we've been talking about?
I don't think questions, Vince, but
Joe, you're muted. Sorry.
oh,
I think you're muted.
can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
I can hear you, Joe.
Okay.
Oh,
I can hear
okay. I think it's great, Vince. The things to know about this is it is probably the lowest dollar amount you could spend for leads. And when you close that lead, there's zero referral fee. So if you look at it as far as people paying for like Zillow zip codes, that could be like 2 grand, 3 grand a month, right?
Yeah.
Or you do another pay to play Zillow Flex. When you close that thing, there's a 35% or 50% referral fee. There's a tiny amount of expense for print or to post it on social media, but you get those leads, it does work, and then you get 100% of it. So that's one point I want to make. The other point I want to make is, so we've had listings to leads for almost 14, 15 years since you've been at it. We've had it for a very long time. And you can't just have one class on it and have it be fully intuitive and you know everything about listings to leads. So if you're serious about getting listing leads, getting buyer leads, you need to go to the mastermind. You need to go to the YouTube channel. You need to go to the tutorial and learn, because you can't just go to the gym and work out one time and come out looking like Mr. or Mrs. America, right? You need to work at it to see the results. And this is a powerful program, and it's a little bit like drinking out of the fire hose when you have a 1 hour class. At least people know what it can do, and it's up to those brokers to dive in and learn and do it. I do listings to leads. I have it auto post for me twice a day, and I have people who respond to everything, and they respond to every post. It's about a living room or it's about landscaping your yard. They are interacting with it. And I know when the time comes to buy or sell, they're calling me. So there's a lot of powerful things, and this is just scraping the surface. If you want the cheapest lead source you can possibly get, dig into this and learn the power of listings to leads.
Thanks, Joe. Well, let me thank you for joining me here today. And let me share one more story from the mastermind group. At the beginning of this year, this young man here came into the mastermind group and he let us know he was going to put this commercial. He wrote a book on real estate advertising. His name is Dustin Fox. We learned about Dustin in 2018. I sold their office called Pearson Smith just south of Washington, D.C. They had 300 agents. At that time, about a year or two later, he comes in the mastermind group and he says, "Hey, I used your nearby homeowner letter," which we talked about today, and I mailed it out to 10 homes with my little calendar with my wife on it. And we even made a Canva page of our Zillow reviews. We mailed them out first class to 250 homes, and I got 10 listings with the average commission of $17,000, right? That's a great ROI because he's telling you right here, he spent $625 to do that. Fast forward from 2018 to today, that company has grown to 1,000 agents. And he has a team of 24 agents, and they are the highest producing team. He's like the number 1 or 3 person, depending on what month you are measuring business in this crowd. In 2018, at this point, he had only been a realtor for 2 years. Prior to that, he was a manager at Office Depot. And he has gone from a new agent to he could basically set up his own office in just a matter of years. And we have calls with him, and I remember him telling our clients, 80% of his business comes from our tools. So definitely take some time to find out what tools you want to use and use them consistently. We have a great support team. We have live training every week. Our support team's down here. If you have questions, you can always ask them. The whole team watches that. And any tool that you use pretty much designed to capture either buyer or seller leads or both. So get involved with it, use it, leverage it. We're glad that you guys are clients. We'll do everything we can to make it easier for you and obviously help you learn how to use it.
And Vince, thank you so much. You're always so gracious with your time. And the one thing that I love about listings to leads is I've just watched you grow. It was like Joe said, it is a little bit about like drinking from a fire hose in a way, because it's so robust, but that's great. But you break up the information in bites that are hyper local in your site, which I really like. So I don't have to read 20 pages to get to the one paragraph that I want. You've got it all specifically organized so I can go right to when I have a question, which is great. And the other thing I just wanted to say thank you on is how much you've really stayed ahead of the curve. You guys are true industry leaders, not followers. You're always adding, like just this morning, before this Zoom, I got I haven't watched the video yet, but yeah, you've added the Case Schiller stuff. You're anything but complacent. And I just wanted to thank you for that, because for us, we have enough going on. I don't want to also have to worry about staying ahead of things like that. It's nice to have a platform like yours that, but you guys learn how to do it. You package it up and let me hit a button.
That's right. We want our clients basically to earn more money, and anything that we can do to make that happen, we're going to figure it out. If I remember years ago, people asked us about Snapchat, and we were like, oh, okay, yeah, let's look at Snapchat. We had to look at it technology wise, but then we're like, hey, nothing's happening here. It's not actually impacting realtors' business. And so we just stopped and we went going. There's some new technology. We'll be announcing it soon. We have AI follow-up, text follow-up, which if there's one thing about capturing leads, there's another thing about converting leads. And texting is a really smart thing to be doing. And to have software that can just do that and intuitively hold that conversation until they're ready for a phone call is awesome, right? And I know everybody here is hearing about AI. We've been looking at it for a while. And there's a lot of the thing about in industry, it doesn't matter what industry, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of fluff, and there's a lot of stories. And there's actually the return isn't there for even the largest technology companies. We look at it from where is this going to help our realtor clients? And we finally have come to one place after looking at a lot of different options and say, hey, this is going to be the best use of AI. And so we're in beta testing now. It's working out pretty well.
Thank you so much, Vince.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And I will get this video out to you and let us know if we can help you again.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Vince.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.